This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video. What's up, everybody? CG is back with another live stream. So, my guest will be here pretty soon. I am just going to do a preview talk. I'm going to continue this stream, but let's discuss the matchup-wise. I'll go for 10 more minutes, and then as soon as my guests come, we're going to collaborate. Excuse my other guesses. Like, Eddie's going to be here in maybe about 20 minutes, and Samdogg should be here maybe around 3. So we'll be okay. I'm just going to go with the watch hours here. But we're going to discuss this matchup, and we're going to talk 49ers versus Seahawks. This is a preview. This is something that I was supposed to talk about. But the matter is I'm here, and we can discuss the matchup-wise. So, okay, so this is a rivalry, This is a close game. This gets competitive. Records out the window. It doesn't matter how good you are. This is a short week. You're playing in Seattle, a stadium that you have a hard time playing at. So the Niners definitely have some momentum, but there's a roadblock. There is a roadblock, and that's in Seattle. And if we can get past that roadblock, we can clinch division just like that. But we don't know what's going to happen. So we're definitely looking forward to this game. It's going to be very competitive, maybe a lot closer than people expect it to be, or maybe it's just meant to be a blowout. We don't know. Because the other week when we played them, like early in the season, we blew the crap out of them. So I don't know. The problem with Seattle that I've noticed about lately is their run defense. They've given up over 200 freaking yards a game. That's usually something the 49ers do really well at. So they should be able to get about close to 200 yards rushing, be able to kill the time of possession. But what does Seattle do really well? If they're on the field, they have some good receivers. I've never underestimated their receiving talent. Like Geno's actually looking a lot better than his previous years. You got to give credit where it's due. Because Geno Smith, despite what everybody thinks of him during his time with the Jets or the Giants or the Chargers, whatever teams he was playing with, dude, he's actually turned his career around. And I don't know if Seattle is even planning on retaining this guy, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to just bring him back to Seattle for a reasonable contract. And then maybe, as an outside looking in, you can definitely get a young quarterback to learn behind Geno Smith. The fact that they're building a foundation, it's a bright future, but they're going through some struggles now because they had a legitimate chance to maybe easily get to win the NFC West. But the problem with that was, Seattle everybody had question marks. They had question marks about this team. They were thinking, wow, they're tanking and all this stuff. Everybody didn't know what was going to happen, The moment you get rid of your franchise quarterback, it just told me something differently. Then you got rid of one of your best tacklers and some of your other best players. It gives me a sign that you guys are rebuilding. And usually that takes some time. But early in the season, you guys have actually outperformed than expected. Without even Russell Wilson, and you guys got loads of draft picks, man. That's kudos, man. I hate to say it, but that's kudos because now you're building a deep roster. You guys are not far from behind to be very competitive again. I think the fact that you guys are competitive this year speaks volume. I mean, I thought you guys were going to fall apart. I thought you guys were just going to be like those guys that get beat over so many other ways, But for whatever reason, Pete Carroll just knows what the hell he's doing. Whether some of you Seattle fans like it or not, you got to give Pete Carroll some credit, man. He knows when to change up the team. Sometimes it's an unpopular decision that kind of turns the team around. Because sometimes if they make the unpopular decision, it doesn't mean it's a bad move. I mean, Bill Belichick's been doing this for years also. So you have to look at the fact that Pete Carroll's been in this business for so many years. And when he knows it's time to move on, it's going to be something that you might be questioning about. But you shouldn't be questioning Pete Carroll's type of moves. But as an outside looking in, Seattle is just they're just building something for next year that can be very competitive. But this year, the fact that they're in this mix tells you that they're really going to be very competitive next year. But this year, they have a chance to make a wild card spot. But we can't get too ahead of ourselves. The fact that we're on a 6-game winning streak means absolutely nothing. Okay? So we're on to our third-string quarterback. We're on a hot streak. We've been playing great football since the fact that the Chiefs beat the brakes out of us. Since the Chiefs beat the shit out of us, we've been waking up. We've been pissed off. We've been playing with different urgency. We've been playing better football. We've been running the ball effectively, solidly good at times. And there's been moments where we did pass the ball more than expected, and we won games. Jimmy Garoppolo, when it came down to it, man, everybody was questioning how far can we go with Jimmy, and then he gets injured, and then we're on to our third-string quarterback, and then our third-string quarterback is one of those last picks in the draft, and everybody was wondering, is our season over? Are we going to go any further with this kid? And everybody just was kind of being skeptical about it, including myself. I was being skeptical because I didn't know what we're going to do. Because Jimmy Garoppolo, despite what everybody thinks of him, he wins games. And you look at the rest of the guys, without Jimmy G, Shanahan has a terrible record. The record's on the pudding. We haven't succeeded without Jimmy G. And we're hoping that Brock Purdy is the solution. I like what I've seen from those 2 games. Even when he got in against the Dolphins, it kind of gave me some confidence. It kind of gave me some hope there. But when he got to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and played exactly the way he's supposed to play, he played a lot better than expected. So I got to give credit where it's due. Most teams that have quarterback injuries, their season's over. They're struggling. Unlike the Niners, dude, we're on to our third-string quarterback, and we're still winning football games. We're 9-4 for a reason because we have great depth. Our defensive line, we've decimated with some injuries, but we found some quality depth that can step in. Cornerback injuries, we got some quality depth that step in. We lost Emmanuel Mosley for the season, but we got Diamado Lenore, who is hungry, who is up and coming, who's actually making a case to be our starter maybe next year. He hasn't looked too bad. And then you look at the rest of our linebacker depth. Okay, some of our key starters were out for a while. You had Dre Greenlaw out for a little bit. You had Al-Shaair out for a while too. But you had Flanagan Foles and Oren Burke step in. That's solid depth right there. And we won some games without some of our linebackers. And our D tackle depth. Kevin Givens actually stepped up and produced. Hassan Ridgeway, whether he did good or not, he did okay. We've got some good quality depth. So it's always that next man up. It's always part of what makes you win football games. You look at the New York Giants. They had the most devastating injuries when they went to the Super Bowl that year. 2011, they were decimated with injuries. They had a lot of quality depth that stepped in and won their Super Bowl. I'm not saying it can be exactly what the Niners are, but you look at the quality depth they got. It's kind of exactly how they've overcame it. You look at the Green Bay Packers in 2010. They were decimated with injuries, but they found ways to win games. Here's another team, for example. I don't want to say we're in that same boat, but remember the Arizona Cardinals of 2015. They were decimated with so many injuries. It even included their quarterbacks. And they still managed to win games. They got to the conference championship despite a blowout loss, but you saw the competitiveness and the fact they had some quality depth chart. That tells you how tested this team is. The Niners are in a wounded battle, but they're not out. You may have won the battle, but you're not winning the war. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting. We don't know what to expect. We're just getting next guys out there. We're even getting some quality guys off the practice squad. Like running back wise, Elijah Mitchell misses time. We've had guys like Jeff Wilson before we traded him. He stood out and did a pretty good job. I mean, you made a move for Christian McCaffrey, and you traded Jeff Wilson to get maybe some picks back on that trade, but you gave it to the Dolphins. And the interesting part about it is we got other quality running backs. Jordan Mason, bro. Nobody's never heard of him. I mean, throughout the offseason, the Niners knew about him. Everybody was talking about how he can be another Marshawn Lynch type running back or this, or be another successful undrafted player that the Niners have had in the past. You know, most of the time the Niners just don't do well with these early pick running backs. I mean, you can go on with the past history. I mean, like good example, Trey Sermon. I really like the guy, but he never fit our system. But you get Elijah Mitchell in the 6th round, and he's standing out. If he was healthy, dude, this guy is a hell of a good running back. You look at a guy like we drafted high on Ty Davis-Price, which I thought was a questionable pick, but it hasn't turned out to be exactly what we were expecting him to be. So it's like I had a feeling this was kind of like a guy who was going to be a disappointment. He was a little bit drafted high, and he just hasn't produced yet. Jordan Mason, undrafted, and actually producing better. So it tells you that we need to stop drafting running backs early. We need to stop drafting them so early. You know what I mean? But the point is, you look at the entire depth chart we got. Our offensive line, it may not be the big flashy names, but they've actually done their job right. But I'd like to welcome my guest. He is on the show, and he's appearing. So everybody, please welcome Samdogg Infamous 253. If you ain't with it, or you
ain't infamous. What's up, CG?
What's up with it, man? So if you ain't infamous, you ain't with it, right?
No, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous.
Okay. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. Okay, I got you.
If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. Can you hear me all right? I just had to put my phone down because I'm getting ready to drive home from work to do this. So can you
all right, man. No problem, man. I was just doing a little preview talk, and then I got you guys the links.
All right.
Yeah, I think Eddie's going to be here in about 20 minutes, or I think 10 more minutes, and then David should be popping in when he gets out of home. Yes, everybody had their schedules all mixed up, but
yeah. Woo, sorry about the whole thing with having to work a little overtime. Like I said, I just was able to.
Oh, we got Eddie. We got Eddie. He said he'll be here. What is going on, dude? What's up, man? And we're gonna get David pretty soon, I'm hoping, but I think he should be coming from work. But Eddie, man, what's going on, man? What? All right, man. Hey, you guys saw that Gridiron Heights stuff where it had Jimmy Garoppolo as Santa Claus, and then Brock took over?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
I'm going to show you that one, dude. That shit was funny as hell. Oh, we got David McNew. Good thing I actually did my preview and did this at the same time. It's perfect.
What's up, David?
What's up, man? Oh, Eddie's having reception issues right now. He should be coming.
Like I said, I'm just driving home from work, so I also got to focus on the road too. But I can still talk from up here. Just want to be sure y'all can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's discuss let's discuss the matchup wise of how you feel. I mean, I know it's been frustrating the last few weeks for you, Seattle. You know, it's like since that Germany game, you think you might have left your entire team out there or no?
Well, probably, especially with how bad we were against the run. So run defense has been the most frustrating factor of those losses to Tampa, to the Raiders, and then it was still frustrating, obviously, even with our win over the Rams. But it's definitely one thing I definitely want to see get rebuilt over time when we enter the offseason, especially in free agency and the draft.
I know that you guys have made some solid moves in the offseason, but the fact that you guys were moving on from Russell Wilson, and you got boatloads of draft picks, man, that does speak volume for the future, you know?
Yeah, right, draft-wise, especially with having what could potentially turn into the number draft.
Hey, Eddie, can you silence your little speaker, bro? Can you, mute it for a little bit? All right. Okay. What were you going to say, bro? Because Eddie's little speaker was a little...
Oh, yeah. What I'm saying is if that pick that we got from Denver in the Russell Wilson trade ends up becoming the number 2 pick, if Denver loses out, I'd like to use that pick on Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who's been the talks of being the top pass rusher coming into the draft, our top defensive lineman in the draft too. Personally, I would love to get Jalen Carter on the defense, but like I said, the run defense has just been frustrating this whole season, and I have a feeling, my feeling so far about this game is I think you guys are going to unleash Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey all over us on our defense. That's just being realistic, you know? Saying.
Mitchell isn't even playing, bro. He's been listed on IR. We have another running back named Jordan Mason, who kind of gives you resembles of Marshawn Lynch a little bit.
Jordan Mason. All right. So
he's number 24 too. That's the weird part. He wears number 24.
What about Christian McCaffrey? Is he playing?
Yeah, he's gonna play. I think we're supposed to activate Tevin Coleman on also because of the injuries, and as far as all that, let's see what Eddie's got to say. I know he's got something to say, and I'm pretty sure one of you guys are going to the game. Yo, Eddie.
Hopefully Eddie can get the connection. Eddie, you there, bro?
Yeah, sometimes connection issue. Sometimes receptions is a joke, man. Sometimes depends on where you're at. But David, how do you feel about this matchup, man?
The Seahawks are always a thorn in our side. I think Dion said it right. That pimple on your back that you just can't get to, you know. This goes back a long time to when they joined the division, and I honestly don't know what our all-time record is against them.
Seattle just has a better winning record. I think they have 31 wins or something, and we only have almost 20 wins against them.
Yeah, it's 30-something. I have to pull up on the Google a little later what the all-time record is.
Yeah, the all-time record isn't good for us because you guys have dominated us. So I'm not gonna be like some other fans. I'm not gonna be like how those Rams fans are kind of delusional and bitter about this. I'm gonna acknowledge the fact you guys have dominated us for quite some time, and we've had times. A lot of these other fans, like the Rams, they can't accept being dominated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, can you guys hear me better?
Yeah, we can hear you better, man. All right, so we'll let Eddie speak what we want to say, man. So how you feel about this? Are you going to the game?
No, it's going to be too expensive, and I don't get paid till the next day.
Okay, so how do you feel about this game?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay, close game. Usually, games are close games.
But we can't have a repeat of the last game where I think the first play when we had the ball, Gino threw an interception, so we cannot start off with that again.
Yep.
Because that's what really hurt us.
I've kind of noticed that when Gino is behind, bro, he struggles. It's just, is that true? Because I've seen some games where he does win you sometimes, but he's been behind at times, and that's where he struggles mostly, right?
Exactly.
He did that against the Rams. I think with about 30 seconds left in the game, he threw the game winner to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, on Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
And that's the one player that I'm worried about. Tyler Lockett's good. The running backs, I mean, the Seahawks as a team have 1,444 yards rushing, so that's kind of that's not very good. But when it comes to matchups wise, DK Metcalf is a matchup nightmare for any corner in the league. He's big, he's fast, and Pete Carroll is going to match him up again on the north. He's going to match him up on the smaller corners so they can throw 50-50 balls to him.
That's why you got to have big body receivers in this league, so that way they can dominate the corners the way that they do. Especially, it's good to have that size. And Metcalf's size and the speed to get it's a rare thing to
Yeah, his size
like that.
His size is just like it's like Megatron type size, but it's kind of like in that similar speed level and the body weight. But like something about DK is like he just puts a top on the defense, but he does a lot more. But a lot of people just ignore Tyler Lockett. I've said it for years. This guy is like one of the best receivers in your guys' team.
Exactly. Lockett is the best on the team.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know why he doesn't get any respect.
I've always said he's been a really good player for years, and I've said it from time to time. I've always said that he's better than DK, and I know some of you guys are saying, nah. No, I'm saying he is, bro. Come on. He's been consistent.
What about –
with that? Tyler Lockett,
yeah.
The way he runs his routes, the guy knows how. Tyler Lockett knows how to get wide open, and he just
has mover too.
Really great hands and knows how to catch the ball really well too. That's what I've always loved about Lockett.
Like for Lockett, okay, I'd rather have 12 catches for 120 yards than have at least 4 big plays from DK Metcalf. At least I'm getting consistency from somebody like Lockett,
Yeah, Lockett just stays very consistent. That's the thing I love about Lockett.
Because if I need a first down, I can always count on a guy like Lockett. But speaking of the receivers, okay, Debo's going to be out until maybe the Raiders game, so he might play against the Raiders, but he won't play this week. So you guys are going to have to focus on trying to cover Ayuk and Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is another guy. He's kind of like Kittle, but you're going to deal with a poor man version of DK Metcalf, more of a blocker, but he's a big body guy. You might have to deal with number 15. But from the looks of it, you might have to focus on Ray McLeod, man. This guy is another guy we got. And then we got Danny Gray, who might just get some more reps now. He's got some speed. Kind of like how.
What about the quarterback situation? From what I heard Purdy had some issue with his ribs and whatnot. Is he still going to be able to play tomorrow?
From what I heard, that it's only soreness from the injury, so it seems like he should be fine. But if he doesn't, then they got Josh Johnson. But what's going on with your running back situation? Is Kenneth Walker kind of considered questionable, or is he kind of ruled out for this one?
I think Walker should be good to go this week. We'll see. Probably might be a game time decision. Him and DJ Dallas didn't play last week, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play again. But I think they were holding him out just to get him ready for Thursday. So if he plays, then I think he's gonna play. Personally, I think he's gonna play.
I read the injury reports. It says that I think they've been cleared to go. It's just we won't have Al Woods on defense.
Oh, yeah, that's like one of your run stoppers. And plus, I don't know who can step in, but when you look at the way Seattle has struggled against the run, so is losing Al Woods going to be more of a devastating blow for your guys' defense?
Yeah, and possibly not having Shelby Harris as well.
Ooh, dude, I don't want to sound overconfident, but do you really believe it's possible that we might run 200 yards on your guys' defense?
I wouldn't be surprised. That's me being realistic. I would not be surprised if you guys unleash Christian McCaffrey or that other running back that you're talking about on us.
Jordan Mason.
Our run defense is our biggest weakness of all, and you've heard me express it on my on some of my previous videos. So I will be realistic and go out and say I would not be surprised if y'all rush 200 plus yards on us. Just saying.
Oh yeah. And I will say, look, me and Samdogg were there last year when Kittle went off on us.
Hey, you guys had a good time there. But speaking of it, man, like early in the season, you guys were looking very competitive. You guys had a good chance to maybe get in the mix for that division. But now it's kind of like flipping sideways now.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, obviously it was looking great in that month of October. But then again, then just taking on the actual competition like you played the Tom Brady's and then just getting some of the injuries, it really derailed us big time on that one. But I always had a feeling like I wasn't going to get overconfident about winning the division and all. Like, I was never overlooking you guys or anyone else in this division, knowing that with how good you guys are, because you guys have like the number one scoring defense from what me and my dad were recently talking about back on the phone a little bit back. We got a train coming, so I'm good to show my camera for a little bit. I'm on my way home, but yeah, like your defense to me is the best defense in the league. So that's why I think you guys are gonna probably dominate us, and we're gonna probably struggle a lot with our running game and our passing attack especially with the way, because you got Nick Bosa and you got Greenlaw and that pass rush though. It's like I think that you're really gonna send that pass rush after us big time.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. I mean, even with Bosa, then we got Greenlaw at linebacker, bro. Everybody's forgetting about Fred Warner. Everybody's forgetting about Fred Warner now because everybody's talking about Dre Greenlaw, bro. I've been preaching about Dre Greenlaw for a couple of years, bro. I said, don't sleep on this kid. This kid is for real, bro. He's kind of becoming his own player, and I'm glad everybody's starting to pay attention to Dre Greenlaw now. Don't get me wrong. I like Fred Warner. Number 54 is my favorite number because I played that number before. But I think number 57 deserves all the respect, bro. He plays this game at a high level.
Yeah. No, is Nick Bosa playing tomorrow? Because I heard he sat out last game with a hamstring injury.
Oh, what he talking? Oh, Kinlaw? What?
No, Nick Bosa.
Oh, no, he should be good. They're just limiting him. They're just being cautious with him. They're just trying.
It's just like the way they're being cautious with our running backs this week too, with Walker and Dallas.
Yeah. Like, Bosa's going to play for sure. You're not going to expect any Debo, so you'll be all right. That's one less to worry about. But what you might need to worry about is Christian McCaffrey. That's it.
When you guys have Debo on that offense, he adds a whole other dimension. Just like I said, when you guys – and you remember me telling you this before about McCaffrey, that when he first started out with you guys and he started just going that, I said McCaffrey adds a completely different dimension to your offense as well.
I mean, McCaffrey does give us more of an element that we've been lacking, but like even before that, we had Jeff Wilson. He wasn't that bad, but still, McCaffrey does everything that you expect from any player, dude. So it's like, even without Debo, we're probably going to have McCaffrey do exactly what Debo does, catch the ball off the backfield like he's been doing, really capable of, and then run those other plays. But I think you're going to have to see some gadget plays from guys like maybe like Ray-Ray McCloud's going to probably get involved a little bit more. You might see some Danny Gray, which I've seen. He made one catch against the Bucks on a fourth down play, so there's maybe some glimpse that maybe we might throw in some deep shots with Danny Gray now.
Yeah. Ooh, I mean, like, Kyle Shanahan, for you guys, definitely knows how to get the best out of. Granted, with the injuries, he gets the best out of the offensive weapons that you guys got, even with the guys that are stepping up for the players that are injured. You know, it's like that's one thing I can respect about what Kyle Shanahan does with your offense. Ooh, I'm looking at a nice Audi R8 right now.
Yeah. So how do you feel, David?
Well, right now I'm feeling like our defense is playing very dominant.
That R8.
See that R8?
Yeah.
Our offense has been doing okay. Yeah, I see that all right. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's all question mark. Like Seattle does do one thing good, and they actually, I believe, have the number one special teams unit in the league. So, but their defense, I'm honestly thinking we're going to be able to run. Look what we did to Tampa Bay. They're a top 10 unit, and look what our run game did to them last week.
Exactly, because you guys got a good offensive line, especially with Trent Williams on that line too. Trent Williams knows how to open up those holes for your running game.
And then we got Brock Purdy.
He's like Trent Williams is like Thanos, bro. He'll make anybody look expendable.
But when it comes to Brock Purdy, we don't honestly know week to week what kind of game he's going to have, because he's only really played. I mean, the first game he played, he might as well started because Jimmy G got hurt really fast, and he played the most of that game.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 games under his belt, but I still need to see more. I still need to see more. But here he goes into Seattle, which is a hostile environment. And Pete Carroll always seems to coach the team up and does well against us, no matter what kind of shape their team's in.
Well,
I expect this to be a fight, even though rankings and all the sportscasters, a lot of them aren't expecting a fight, but I fully expect it to be a fight.
Well, we all know what happened last time in San Francisco, so that was probably one of the other worst games that Geno played, other than, our only score in the last matchup was a blocked field goal for a touchdown with special teams when Tariq Woolen blocked it and Michael Jackson took it to the house. So that says a lot about still how good your defense is, and obviously how much work that we need, especially with the 2 rookies we drafted in Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross on the offensive line, and which have been great additions for our O-line, and they can only continue to get better. Granted, I know they're just rookies, but it all depends on how much they learn and how much better they can get learning from certain mistakes that they made. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got either Lucas or Cross maybe double teaming on Bosa maybe, but like I said, round 2 this time, and definitely got the better of us last time, but definitely wouldn't be surprised if it happened again too, though. But yeah, definitely a couple of guys to look out for in the future for our offensive line is Cross and Lucas, with how well they've looked as rookies too.
Yeah, I've actually am impressed by Lucas. I thought he had some really good skill. I've seen some of his film, and I thought
Lucas out of our own backyard. He went to Washington State.
No, but he was really good. Like, he held his own, and I think he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick, right?
2nd round pick. Yep.
Okay.
We got him after the Kenneth Walker pick.
Okay, so that made sense to get him and then get a running back. But yeah, Cross is pretty good too. You expect that from all rookies, but
both Mike Leach guys too. May he rest in peace. May I mention Mike Leach died a couple nights ago, so I want to say R.I.P. to the late former Texas Tech coach, former Washington State coach, and Mississippi State coach. Which, when Pete Carroll was drafting Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross, the first person he was dialing up was Mike Leach.
Mike Leach was he was an innovator on offense, and guys like Michael Crabtree still was thankful to this day. Like, even Crabtree threw a tweet about him, like rest in peace or something, or prayers.
Yeah, it's definitely sad to hear about the news of him, especially many people that love playing for him at Washington State, and for those that just loved him. I heard he was a pretty fun guy from people that I knew that went to Washington State that played for him, like my buddy Bennett Bontemps back in the day too.
One of the players who played at Washington State that I had a chance to meet up with before, he had bad experience with him, but he doesn't hold nothing back against him. It's like he was drafted by the Bears, kind of like a decade ago. I don't know how.
Marquise Wilson.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I knew Marquise. Yeah, he's a good friend. He's a friend of mine.
He's from the Central Valley, but he comes from he told me he just didn't enjoy him as much.
Yeah.
But he owes nothing personal. He just felt like he needed to get out.
Yeah, I remember that. He left early, and then he got drafted by Trestman in the Chicago Bears in 2013.
Yeah. Crabtree became successful because he played under that offense at Texas Tech. But speaking of all that, man, let's leave our prayers for the Cardinals, man. Kyler Murray out for the season. That's devastating. But even though it's a long season, it just sucks.
Torn ACL. That's hard to go. That is definitely hard to recover from too. I know from my experience, because remember, I tore my ACL in 9th grade on the only Saturday practice. I took a blindside block from my buddy Keith Walker. I remember on kickoff team, and then I had a hard time getting up from that. And then just the surgery. It's tough to recover from that.
The only injuries I've ever had in football was either multiple concussions, but I never had to get checked in. I remember I was blurry vision. I knew I was playing, and everybody had to check if they had somebody check the light, and everybody say, "Oh, you're good." And there were symptoms back then where they didn't even check in deeper, But I still was on the field. Played through fractured fingers, which I still have fractured fingers from blocking or cheap shotting people. I even got into some physical fights on the field too. I've actually got ejected for being too dirty. Because I didn't really give a crap about the other teams. I said, dude, I'm here to fucking play and knock the shit out of you. If you don't like me, oh well. And that's what most of my teammates enjoyed about me was I was always the guy that never backed down from the field.
That's the way it goes. That's part of the game.
Dude, even one guy tried to drag my helmet off, but I pulled his helmet aside and just tossed it up and say, man, don't do that shit again to me again. And I got flagged for that because I wasn't playing around. I was on defense too.
That's crazy, man. That is insane.
Dude, busted nose a little bit too, and then I've actually had some my ankle was fractured here and there, but I'll tell you what, playing football is fun, but it gets too physical. But I think the rules of the game is lame, bro. You can't even sack a quarterback like the way you used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially like the way in the 80s.
Let's see. But you probably saw how bad Russell Wilson's injury is.
Oh, like how bad of his injuries? I heard he was injured.
See the thump on his head after that?
A concussion, and if you saw that picture, he has a bump on his head.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, the bump was gnarly, man.
I think Denver got the rip off of that trade. I think they might need to try to get rid of him as soon as possible, bro. I think that was the dumbest move by them to give him a contract
Especially
extension.
to pay him before he played a single down for that team, too. That's exactly what I'm saying. When they did that, me and my dad kind of had the thought.
They should have just waited until after the season to pay him.
To see what he can do. Yeah, like, dude, you had like maybe what his remaining contract was 2 years. You could have at least seen what he could do for 2 years, and then if he does well his second year, give him an extension. But it was stupid.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
What's up, Edward? What's up, everybody?
I mean, I think I would have said, this offseason would have been the year to pay him.
Yeah, but he hasn't looked good, so I think it might just come back to haunt him now. It's like all offseason, that's all we were hearing about. Let's ride. Let's ride.
All right. Hey, David, so who's your player to watch this week going into this game tomorrow night?
My player would be Jordan Mason. Because, I mean, the kid's averaging over 5 yards a carry. And at this point, we don't need to be riding Christian McCaffrey so hard. We need to split the load. And he's a bruiser. So it's time to start running Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I think he's a good X factor, if I'm being honest. Like, that dude is like he's kind of like somebody I've told you about, undrafted, and comes from Georgia Tech, and everybody compares him a little bit to Marshawn Lynch a little bit. You'll see who he is, bro. You'll see who number 24 is. You're going to see this guy. You're going to say, oh, crap, he reminds me of somebody.
Yeah.
So, okay, for my X factor of the Niners, it's got to be Juwan Jennings. I think after Debo's out for this game, he has to step up and make some more catches than expected. So he's going to have to be like a lot better than expected because Debo's gone. That does give Jennings more targets. I know Ayuk's going to have his moments too, but I think Jennings is going to have to be the more important factor of this offense, especially on third downs and especially in the red zone. Oh, his reception. But Eddie, who do you guys your X factor for Seattle? What's going on? I guess reception is terrible in Washington.
Huh.
This better?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I'd say DK or Tyler Lockett.
Okay, so it has
you don't want to leave an open hole for Kenneth Walker to run.
Okay, so we're going with DK and all those other guys, but what about your underdog player that nobody talks about? He would have to be more of an X factor. Like, what would be that one player who needs to step up from Seattle that's like unheralded?
I mean, like, I would say, like, Tariq Woolen's been stepping up, but Kobe Bryant, like, still need to get him his first interception, too. Because his last couple interceptions have been taken away because of defensive stuff. I mean, I guess that Kobe Bryant, I guess he was a steal in the draft.
So you're saying that Kobe needs to be the X factor? Okay, I'll take your word for it. He seems decent. Like,
sorry about that.
That's all right, man. That reception in Washington, it's all good, man.
Yeah. So as I was saying, it's like we need to see what Walker can do coming off of that ankle injury, seeing what he can do if he can run well, especially against your pass rush and your run stopping defense, for how tough that defense is for my X factor. But man, so Eddie was mentioning Colby Parkinson, our tight end.
No, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, Kobe Bryant, the cornerback. Yeah, Kobe. Yeah, Kobe's definitely struggled in some coverage areas too. I would like to see Kobe maybe have a better game on the secondary, maybe with some. I like the 3-4 defense. One of my issues with the defense is the way that we've been playing yards off of the receivers and tight ends. But for me, another factor is how bad our linebackers played last week against Carolina. So I like to see the linebackers get up in better coverage, especially on tight ends this week too. So that was definitely frustrating for me. Definitely was. I think I would like to see the linebackers do a little bit better.
Yeah, that's going to have to be something we might have to test well, especially throwing some screen passes to McCaffrey. That might be where your linebackers might need to step up their game a little bit.
Exactly. The screen, especially on the screen passes too, because Carolina was gassing us with those screen passes to Hubbard and Foreman and whoever that other third running back was. So the linebackers to me are also going to be what I need to see improvement from this week too. Granted, I know it's going to be tough with how good that offense is, it's basically with the other flaws that we have on defense that, like I said, we need to fix this offseason.
So, okay, there's another content creator who happens to be on the show, and he's been saying that for Seattle to get somebody to help their defense more, he thinks getting Will Anderson is more important than getting Jalen Carter. Disagree or agree?
Well, I've heard good things about Will Anderson, but Jalen Carter, to me, is the top dog. I think Jalen Carter's the top dog. I would say get Jalen if we end up with the number 2 pick.
Like, what do you think, Eddie, for the future perspective? Do you think Jalen Carter's a better pick, or do you think Will Anderson is?
I think I'd rather go with Jalen Carter.
That run defense has to improve, and you have to beef up. And plus, Al Woods is like 35 years old. He ain't getting younger, so you might need to replace him at this point of his career.
I think Al might retire. I think Al's coming close to retirement.
And then looking at your guys' secondary, it's young, it's promising. There's a little room for them to improve, especially Tyreek Woolen. You guys haven't had a tall, lengthy corner like that since maybe Sherman and Browner. Those were like your big corners. But, I think the one that concerns me more on the matchup wise, like I think what we need to step up on the most is like we got to throw in those passes pretty quickly. And maybe that's where maybe your secondaries might catch on. Maybe that's where Tyreek Woolen or
Tariq. It's Tariq. It's
pronounced Tariq Woolen. Maybe that's where you might catch on, but maybe not. We'll see. But I think the one flaw that you guys might expose on is maybe getting pressure on Brock Purdy. But he kind of shows that he can take the pressure just fine.
And that's where I want to see us get a pass rush, especially because we're not getting enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And I've been saying it, like I said, it's like I want to see our pass rush be. When we were winning those games in October, we were getting good pressure on the quarterbacks. Like you saw what we did to Kyler Murray twice. 6 sacks in the game in Seattle and 5 sacks in the game in Arizona. And then, of course, the amount of sacks that we were able to hit Justin Herbert for when we played the Chargers, too. That's what I really want. I want to get back to the way that pass rush was just getting after it. But Darrell Taylor hasn't really been much of a factor for our pass rush. Just sucks not having Shelby Harris out there, too. Shelby Harris has been a great big factor for our pass rush, and want to see more out of Boye Mafe too. That's for sure.
I've heard a lot of good things from that kid from Minnesota. I was actually kind of hoping we would get him, but I'm glad we got Drake Jackson because Drake Jackson to me was like a late first round talent or even maybe higher than that. But I think the fact he's on the rotation, he's done pretty still.
Was he the one you interviewed before he got drafted by you guys?
No, it was Spencer Burford. The one that played with Tyreek Woolen in college
at UTSA.
Yep.
How's he doing so far for you guys?
Oh, he's like, from me and David's perspective, I mean, dude, he's been doing pretty solid. Like, he had his moments, but the game isn't too big for him. Like, right, David?
No, that's true. The game isn't. So, I mean, so Brock Purdy is what we're talking about, right?
No, we're talking about Spencer Burford.
Oh, so I mean, when he came out of college, it was a small college, and he was very dominant at that college. And then he comes into us, he has all the physical tools and traits. And I honestly don't think he's as raw as the scouts thought he was. But right now, he's been getting better and better every week. He's only allowed 1 sack all season.
Not bad.
So he's doing pretty good. He might actually end up sliding to the right a little bit next season, but we'll see how that works out.
Oh, dude, the thing that makes it so interesting, dude, is the fact that I've actually predicted, don't be surprised if this kid gets picked a little earlier than he was expected to be. And I even said to the Niners throughout the offseason, remember when I preached about don't be surprised if he starts at guard? I predicted that. And everybody in the Niners community said, you're nuts. You don't know what you're talking about. And I said, dude, he's going to start. They make exceptions.
And you called it.
I called it, and I even said Lenore is going to be a dark horse. I even said Lenore is going to be a dark horse, and everybody just thought I didn't know what I was talking about. And guess what? He's doing pretty good.
Exactly.
Seeing their words now.
Dude, whatever I say, it's legit at times. Sometimes I'll eat my words. Brock Purdy, I thought he was going to be trash, and I eat words out of it. But I at least give him credit now. I'm behind this.
Yeah,
and I know you. I saw you called out a lot of fans that were calling out Trey Lance too.
Because I hate how they just treat this guy like crap. They treat him like he was like Kaepernick almost. That's what it seems like. But I call out the center, Jake Brendel, and what was his response? Block me on Twitter. Bam! Got under his feelings a little bit.
People always just get in their feelings.
Yep.
Next time I'll call McGlinchey next time, but
speak a little truth sometimes, and people lose their minds.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you guys actually got a defensive end that I was wanting us to sign, and this is before the Drake Jackson pick, which the guy's a beast.
Talk about Mafe.
Was it Uchenna Nwosu?
Uchenna Nwosu, yeah, Uchenna Nwosu.
Oh yeah, the one that came from the Chargers.
Nwosu's close to 10 sacks on the season. I'll tell you what, I remember my first impression of Nwosu was when he had the game-winning strip sack on Lamar Jackson in the Chargers playoff win over Baltimore in the 2018 season. And I remember I never imagined us getting him, but Pete loves those USC guys. And Uchenna Nwosu, you know exactly where he played his college at, right?
USC.
Yep, USC.
I think he wanted Drake Jackson also, for what I was told.
But Uchenna Nwosu, I would not be opposed to bringing him back next year and maybe giving him maybe like a 2-year deal. I would love to bring back Uchenna Nwosu for our defense. He's been a stud for us ever since we got him.
I mean, he's done a lot better than what he did with the Chargers. I don't think they use him the right way. I think you guys are finally using certain talent the right way. And I'd like to give a shout out to the ex-Niner that you guys have. Goodwin, he's actually doing pretty okay.
Marquise Goodwin, yeah, he's been a bright spot for our receiving core. Whenever we couldn't get like Lockett or Metcalf, when he gets open, he makes plays. I remember when you told me about him when we first got him that we were gonna love him. And my first big impression of him was when he busted out in that game against the Chargers and had two of our 4 touchdowns in that game and contributed to the win.
I even said that his talent is good. He is somebody you guys are going to root for, and
he can jump pretty high too. He's got them hops. He was a high jump champion, and the other times that we won a game, I remember seeing him do a celebratory backflip twice in SoFi Stadium. He did it in our win against the Chargers, and then he did it in our win against the Rams down there.
I mean, that's one thing you guys might need to test on our secondaries. Those deep passes, like. to be honest with you, you might want to test that on our secondary. Like,
Yeah, but it depends on how much protection we can give Geno. And, of course,
oh, yeah,
it
that's
ain't
true.
easy going up against that boy Nick Bosa, just saying.
Oh, Bosa and Armstead, man. Then you got Ebicom, who's a little fast, and you got a couple of dudes. I mean, it depends, but if you put a little more time in the pocket, man, that's where you might want to test our secondary. And I guess that's kind of been the issue. Like even if you guys take a lot of time on the pocket, look what happened with Miami. They couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then Tampa Bay couldn't do shit. And it's funny, bro. It's funny we exposed one of their top run defense, and we almost
because you got the best defense in the league, and then you got one of the best offensive minded coaches in the league.
Yeah, like seriously, like I don't know how we made Tampa Bay look like an afterthought, man, but they had a really good run defense, and we just ran them over. Now that you guys don't have some of your guys, man, I don't know. I'm not overlooking you guys. It depends on how you guys tackle. You guys might force fumbles. That might be scary, so we'll see.
Yeah, it just depends on how we tackle. I mean, missed tackles have been another big issue with us during the season too. So, especially with a stud like Christian McCaffrey in the running game too. It's like I want to see us at least try. I always yell out, wrap up, and all that stuff too. So that's also been the most frustrating thing about the season is still the missed tackle issues, which I would love to see get fixed.
Yeah, so
can't be missing tackle like that, especially on a game like this.
Yeah, you guys got to wrap up better because if you guys don't tackle, we're probably gonna get those big chunk of plays. Like
you guys are probably gonna run away with it. That's my honest opinion is that you guys cover early, then you guys are gonna really blow us out. And I have no.
So
especially to my fellow Seahawks, just saying.
So you're saying maybe there's a knock on wood, maybe? Nah.
I'm not really that much. If you watch my game picks with Dallas Stewart,
I know he's kind of been mixing up on his picks a little bit here and there, but I think he's kind of been like saying, "Oh God, they just ran Tampa Bay." Good.
At my house.
You know what, man? This is what we need to do. We definitely need to make a statement by blowing you guys out, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy with you guys, especially at your own field. It's been our disadvantage going to Seattle. But we've won our division title like in 2019 we did.
Yeah, you did in 2019, yeah. It just depends on – it's going to really depend on just what team shows up on –
Yeah, short weeks are always a bad
thing. I will be at the game, though, just saying. Whew. Yep.
All right, man. Definitely appreciate it. Hey, but I know you guys are probably going to – oh, you got what?
I just got home from work, so let me just get in the house and get in my room and just set the phone up for a little bit, and that way it'll be better, and I can set up my background. Just got to get in the house really quick.
Okay, right. We'll go at least for 10 more minutes if you guys want to. That's about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know Eddie probably has to go to work probably pretty soon. So
yeah.
All right,
that's
true.
But I will say, like, this is everybody needs to knock on wood for this game. It's like
I already did that.
We gotta show up today because Thursday short weeks are always the worst.
Yeah, so it can either be knock on wood or pound.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's either knock on wood or pound.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so let's get on to the prediction of what you guys think of the scoreboard is going to be. I mean, you can start off. We'll start off with David, and then we'll start off with Eddie, and then we'll start off with Samdogg, and then we'll start off with.
Well, you already know my opinion. What's happened? You know that.
Okay, well, let's see what David says.
Guys, in my game picks, so my game picks to see.
Well, I don't do score predictions, but I'm feeling like Seattle always plays us tough, and we should win this by one score.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So one score difference. Yeah. Okay. So Eddie.
Okay, we win this.
Eddie?
I say 27-24.
Oh, shit.
So you think maybe there's so you're thinking it's this, and then kick an upset. Okay, nail in the
Yeah,
coffin. I guess you have a chance. All right.
yeah, because you're gonna expect us to show up this time because I don't think it's gonna be like what it was week 2.
We'll see. But for Samdogg said something the opposite. But let's see what his score prediction is. And then if anybody hasn't seen his score prediction, I'll promote it under my description for your pickups, I guess.
It's only because I haven't been really. I'm not too confident in the way of the defense has been playing, especially up front. So that's the big issue. Why I think you guys are probably going to run all over us. Just saying, I expect a lot of running out of McCaffrey and that backup guy, and that other guy you talk about that's compared to Marshawn Lynch. What's his name again? His name is
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason. Yeah, Jordan Mason. Yeah. So I'll definitely be looking out for a bunch of that when I'm in the south end zone. Just saying.
Okay. I don't know like what kind of scoreboard. I know it sounds weird to go by scoreboards, but sometimes you got to pick your scoreboards. So for me, I said Niners 27, Seattle 13. I think you guys might only get 13 points in before halftime, and we might just have like what is it like a 14-3? I mean 14-13 halftime, and I think we start dominating you guys at the second half. I think that's what can happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because we always have those slow starts. We always have those slow starts in the first half, and then they don't score after that. So it's like we'll see.
I think it might be different if it gets hectic early. If Geno turns the ball over, it might get hectic early. Just saying.
Oh, we can deflect those balls. Maybe Hufanga gets a little pick here and there, but I know it's gonna. I expect a close game, but maybe it might be exactly the way we done with the Rams. We'll see.
Yep, indeed we will. Whew, gonna be back in setup.
All right, so I know you guys have to party ready pretty soon. I definitely appreciate you guys, but for anybody else who hasn't checked out Samdogg's channel, tell everybody where they can find your content and tell them where they can find you from there.
All right, you guys can find me at Samdogg, the infamous 253. Just search that in there. And for my content, obviously Seahawks football, and then during the free agency, talk about all the moves around the NFL whenever I get a chance, whenever I'm not busy at work. And then from time to time, you may get some good exotic car videos because I like exotic cars too. I do car content too. And from time to time, may get a good rap concert out of me too. Definitely check out my Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap Tour video and my Ice Cube video too. So means with Jadakiss and Styles P from when I was over in New York. But yep, find me at Samdogg Infamous 253. Me and Dallas, my buddy Dallas, do game picks on Tuesdays, mostly Tuesdays. So feel free to come through, drop your picks in the comments down below, and you know the rest, right? And I appreciate the support that some of you guys have shown coming off of my homie, and make sure you keep the support going for the homie CG, man. Keep him rolling, man. Keep the boy rolling. Same with the homie David up there, David McNew, man. Glad I got to talk with you and meet you through the stream, brother.
Yep, and like I said, you want brutally honest. You're not getting no sugarcoats. You're not getting no BS with me. I'm going to keep it a buck, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. Not everything I say.
Same here, man. That's how I am on my channel.
Yep. Not everything I'm going to say is going to be perfect. So I'm not everybody's cookie cutter. So
exactly.
But for all those guys, if y'all ain't subscribed to Samdogg Infamous, you're doing a disservice, man. You guys got to check out his channel, and especially his reactions when Seattle struggles. You might want to get a good comedy out of it, or you might want to see how he reacts. He goes to games. He meets up with NordCam. So this guy he's kind of like a celebrity. You got to think about it. He goes to every Seattle game. He's like that. He's kind of like more noticeable. I mean, the guy is infamous. 253. Come on, man.
Yeah, interact with players too. Interact with players by the tunnel and try to get them fired up before games. And since the Seahawks won't be playing this Sunday, I gotta say, Dale's got a red zone stream coming up this Sunday.
All
Can't
right,
forget
man.
that. So make sure some of you guys come in and come hang out and say what's up on the red zone stream with me and Dallas on Sunday.
Yeah, go check out the red zone for everybody else, man. We're gonna call it a day. Hey, but Eddie, man, are you gonna do a channel anytime soon, or are you just gonna stay that way?
maybe sometime in the future, I might think of doing that.
You should, man.
Yep.
It helps more of your
Do it,
Seahawks
Eddie.
community. Dude, there's not that many Seattle community, man. I think you have a good chance to grow just like Samdogg.
Well, you also got, other than Norbcam, you got Seahawks Brendan Nelson, you got the Hawks Nest, got a pretty good.
I mean,
community. You
there's
got
some,
Fallopi as well.
But there's not
Yeah.
that many compared to the Niners and Eagles content or Cowboys. You guys have a good chance to grow more.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, CG. I'll also send you a link if you want to come in the stream with and chat with me in Dallas again, just like the last time too. I definitely would want to get you back in the stream again too, man.
I'll let you know, man. I'll definitely let you know. I'll probably be at my job over there at that other place, but I'll see if I can hop on, man. Thanks for the invite, but for everybody else, man, we're gonna call it a day and let the best team win. And for David, my co-host, do you plan on having a channel anytime soon or not?
I plan on starting one probably within the next month. I wanted to get some cameras and a background going on, so I'm currently working on that. Just trying to see what'll actually work best. So, and right now, like I said, it's just my name. I do like that suggestion, David McNiner. That's probably gonna go. I'm probably gonna go with that.
I think it's more catchy. I think it's more
You
catchy.
should go with that.
David McNiner. Yeah, David McNiner, because you're like the big time Niner in Utah, but you become your own character. It's like McDonald's, like McDonald's.
Yep.
Or David McDouble. I don't know. But David McNiner's more catchy. But
yeah.
But Eddie calls himself Swaggy Hawk, right?
Yeah. Swaggy Hawk, yeah.
Yeah, just go with Swaggy Hawk, man. Swaggy Hawk, Eddie, or no, Swaggy Hawk. I don't think they have anybody with the content on YouTube with that name.
No, I don't think so. Eddie, you got
Eddie, you can take me, man.
Claim it, Eddie.
All right, man. We're gonna call it a day, man. But as always, I'll see you guys later. And let the best team win, like they say. And best of luck.
All right.
All right.